like the size of my head.
Make it complicated.
So far, so good. There's one, there's one, there's one. Now that one has potential. A little bit nicer. Good array of stuff here. Wow, they're loaded in there. Holy cow. Kind of tastes like between a cabbage and a turnip. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Broyans Farm. It's a little bit foggy out today. Frank and I just got here to this patch of dill that I planted quite a while ago. But now that it's getting colder, it's not growing near as fast. And we figured instead of letting it die when it gets frost, we might as well start harvesting it. So what we're doing is picking it in a little bit thicker bunches than what we would usually do when it's fully grown. And then we're bunching it with rubber bands and then putting it in water and selling it at market. And it's actually going really well. As you can see, this is the past 2 days and we've cut about 60 bunches so far. So instead of pulling it out and getting everything all muddy, I just cut it off right at the ground. It usually doesn't take too much and I get the bunch I'm looking for. So that right there is perfect. And then Frank will take, rubber band it twice and it'll go in the bucket. Just like
Doesn't
that.
always go that easy.
Go.
Boy, being ambidextrous sometimes is not a good thing. Boy, that smells so nice and warm.
Yeah.
It's 3. 3 and 1 is 4, isn't it?
I think so. Hope so.
Yeah, first. Boy, I got rid of my double banding technique again. I haven't done this in a while.
There you go.
I can take that out, right, weed?
Yeah. So now we're gonna move into Kohlrabi, which is this stuff right here. So we'll just pull it out of the ground like that, cut that root off, get that dirt off, and then cut a couple of the lower leaves off. And that's it right there. Now that one's a little bit big, but there's nothing wrong with that. Kohlrabi is only about, I would say, 3 weeks away, maybe not even that long, maybe 2 weeks away from being done for the entire season. Which is kind of sad and kind of exciting at the same time. And if you're wondering what to do with Kohlrabi and what it tastes like, it kind of tastes like between a cabbage and a turnip. And you can saute it, you can dice it up, put it in soups and stews, you can slice it up, eat it raw with salt. Basically anything you want to do, and it's extremely healthy. Now we're gonna get some broccoli. We gotta come out here and get more later for market, but this is just gonna be for my mom for the farm market. These are like the size of my head.
Sorry about that. I can't keep my laughter contained.
It's only gonna take about 8 of them to fill it up.
That's exactly what I thought as soon as I brought the basket down. I'm like, this is gonna be quick. Look at that.
Again, with the warm weather, it's pushing these beans on. Frank was just through the other day and picked some flat. We got some nice ones on here. I think we're gonna come up and pick them again today. With it being so rocky, they didn't germinate too good, but what's here is very nice. And as we go down over this rocky section, they get better and better. You can see this must have been where Frank was picking. Yeah. Yep. We're gonna start cleaning these today. Wow, they're loaded in there. Holy cow. It's awesome to have beans this late. Now we're gonna try and get some sweet corn. Finally, this patch now is really coming on strong. We were picking it when it was like just barely ready, so we had to really be careful what we were picking, but now it's kind of just rip and tear straight on through the patch. We're still seeing some of the effects from that tornado. That's why the corn's laying down. But at least the corn is here and developed correctly.
I could do it the easier way, but why not? Make it complicated.
I think it's getting foggier out.
It's gonna be one.
I can't even see down to the farm now.
Wow, look at that.
Mom's just getting loaded for the market. Picking the first cauliflower out of the late season patch. Got a good array of stuff here. Now we're getting ready for our second load, which is gonna be cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, turnips, maybe rutabagas. We'll add a little more. Spiders are making webs on the pasture fence. We have arrived at the cabbage field. Hopefully for the last time to pick this cabbage, because we're going to be moving on to the next stuff. Frank's got 4 heads. Here's the flat.
Good technique.
Yeah. I swear this cabbage just keeps coming back.
I know. I could have sworn we picked there, right?
Picking Brussels sprouts now. Last time, or maybe 2 times ago, I was down here, I cut all the heads off the tops of them. And now the Brussels sprouts are getting to be a nice size. So it's really nice because we can just go through now and he's gonna clip all these right off and clean this whole section.
There's so much.
There you go. And then I'll go through with the knife and cut the leaves off.
There you go.
So my job now is going through, getting these leaves off. It'd be better if my knife was a little bit sharper. I think I said that last time I was down here. So that's pretty close, and now I'll just do some fine tuning.
But at least we didn't forget the main ingredients.
The loppers. So once I get the main leaves cut off, I'll go back through and just trim it up a little, make it a little bit nicer without cutting the Brussels sprouts or my fingers.
It's called precision cutting.
Oh, I cut that one a little bit. Last time we were down here, we got turnips, but on the other half of the field, we have rutabagas, which we're growing for the first time this year. And Frank's actually pulling some really nice ones out. I don't know about flavor wise, but the only difference I noticed between the rutabagas and the turnips is these have like a waxier, like a cabbage leaf, and the ones in the turnips down there have like a prickly leaf kind of, but it looks the same. This one's actually split. It's no good. That one looks pretty nice. So far, so good. Getting some nice ones. Frank's got a nice bundle in his hand. You about pull your shoulder off trying to pull these out of the ground though. Frank, hold them up quick. You can see how long the roots are. I mean, they just really root in there. Here's a real big one. Found that sometimes the real big ones are split. Kind of like that one there, but I don't think that's bad at all. Just like red beets and the turnips, we'll cut the leaves off pretty short. Get a little bit of that mud off so it goes through the washer easier. And yeah, you can cut that off. Dad, Frank, and myself are out here in the pickles and cucumbers and zucchini. There's not a ton here, but just like always, what's here is nice. They don't really have much protection now that most of their leaves are gone. So we don't want them to get burned by the sun, kind of like that one's starting to. We want to get them off. Something like this guy here is never going to make anything of himself. So I'm picking it off. That one I'll just let go. Now that one has potential. So does that guy. But something like this I'll pick off. What the pickles look like. Not bad, just not a ton. There's a little small yet. Nice one. We're waiting for Frank, so we're just piling up the zucchini. We have a pile right there. We started another pile right here. And there's a ton in this section. With all this 70, 80 degree heat, it's really making these grow fast. So now we're picking watermelon. These are basically just laying on top of each other in here. I didn't even take a step without picking all those and putting them on a pile for Mom. There is a red seedless there, but there's one, 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 there's one. And then I think now we're starting to get caught up to where we picked before, but never have I seen this large of watermelon touching each other. Almost 4 of them. Earlier, Dad dug potatoes. Now we're going through picking them up. These are the red. This section here is a little bit stonier than other parts of the field, but there's a lot here. It's a green one. We're back to the shed. We got like 30 or 35 reds and I think just about 40 whites, which is going down very fast because Mom already bagged, what, 5 bags of 50 pounders? And Frank and I are putting about 6 crates through the washer, which is 12 baskets. So we're not gonna have much left by the time we're done. These are the Norwest, which is a yellow potato. Dad's working on reds.